talked about Microsoft earlier. We want to go back to the topic because Microsoft is taking on the iPad. At a developers conference today in Anaheim, California, the software giant unveiled Windows 8, an operating system designed to run on tablets that compete against Apple's iPad. Microsoft shares, by the way, finishing up slightly on the news, about 0.5%. Pitt Capital analyst Kim Forrest was at the conference's keynote speech just a few hours ago. She joins us now. Kim, great to have you here with Matt and myself. You were there at the speech. Were you impressed?
You know, I'm a cynic by nature. I was an ex-software developer, which, now I'm a Wall Street analyst, so that makes me doubly cynical. And yet, I'm pretty excited about the product. If they can make it do what they demonstrated that it can do, I think they have a really nice product. This is a developer conference, so they were extremely, catering towards the developers. They showed us some development tools that should make building for this new operating system extremely easy. And I think that really speaks well to who they're going after. They also sound like they're going after Apple with having the anti-app store where there won't be much of a charge, if anything, to post your apps up there.
At least not in the beginning. We'll have to see what happens.
Right,
hey,
give it away for free.
Exactly, and get everybody in and then start charging.
Yep.
Hey, you mentioned, though, if they can deliver on what they showed in the demo, that's a big if. I mean, do you have faith that Microsoft can truly deliver on what it's promising?
Huge. Like any software, I don't care if it's Microsoft or IBM or anybody, it's made by human beings, it's very complex software, and it's very difficult to, get it out the door. It's just the nature of the product. But I think they stress that quality is going to be paramount. They're not just going to shove it out according to some date. And, we'll see if they can balance the needs of Wall Street with the needs of developers and users to have a good, high-quality product.
When it comes to tablets, though, it seems like Apple clearly dominates. I've got one. I've got two at home, actually. In fact, when you talk about tablets, that's the name that comes to the forefront. Can Microsoft seriously take a stab at Apple's dominance here?
Well, they're going to try, and they're giving away tablets today to these developers, and I think that's, again, a great hook to get them intrigued and developing for the platform. But again, we'll see what happens. One thing that Apple doesn't do particularly well that Microsoft has for a long time is multitasking, and they really showed that off today. It's a very nerdy concept, but if you are like the rest of the world that really likes to have a lot of things going on, multitasking is something that a computer needs to do. And, I think Microsoft is really addressing this on every platform that they are delivering on.
So what do you want to be watching then for that has to come from Microsoft to say to you, Kim, you've been a developer, you know how it works. Sometimes it takes a little time, but to say, okay, they're hitting all their marks here.
I'd like to see more of a timeline, and I'd like to see, what the quality is that they're looking for. How many, the bug rate, that sort of thing. Maybe that's a little too picky for most of the financial press, but I think that would give us an idea of, is it really ready yet?
All right, let's talk a little bit about the share price, because it's down about 6% so far this year. This is a company, like a lot of tech names, Kim, are sitting on tons and tons of cash. We talked about this with Sheila Dhamarajan earlier. Microsoft has about $53 billion in cash. What are your expectations? Our Bloomberg dividends team is expecting an increase here in the dividend, maybe about a 19% increase. Are you expecting that? Is that enough? It's not that much if you look at all the cash that they've got on hand.
It really isn't, but they're going to make the case, as a story earlier on your show said about Apple, that they don't want to give out all this cash because they think that they can deploy it better than their shareholders. And that's really the question, isn't it? What is the right level to give back to shareholders if you have to continually reinvest in your company? I'd say holding $53 billion on your balance sheet's a little high, and I'd really like to see it come back to us. So that 19% sounds like a lot, but really it only brings their yield up to about 2.8% of the share price. So would like to see it a little higher because they can, and they've demonstrated they can generate the cash.
Going to leave it on that note. Hey, Kim, thank you so much. Kim Forrest, Pitt Capital Group, talking to us about Microsoft, the dividend, and also their latest software.